Hello and welcome to this video on how to use Noticia Go's AI review tool for PII, or personally identifiable information, identification, and extraction. We have a set of documents here, a sample set of publicly available documents, which contain names and emails and other PII, and we're going to do two prompts here. The first one is very simple. We're just going to look for names and email addresses, and we want them in this specific format. We want them paired, so the name and then the email of that person split with a double slash. And the reason for this is we really want to be able to save this to our field, export a list, and split columns based on this delimiter, which is a really effective way to potentially re-upload a search term family or develop a list of the names. Let's say there was a security breach where we lost data. We can identify whose information was leaked for notification purposes. In this case, we'll even have their email addresses available so we can notify them. And we'll also do a second prompt, which has a little bit more detailed identification of the types of PII in the document. So we'll go ahead here and let's just save this prompt and use this for this document. As you can see, this is very quickly pulling out the names and emails of the people mentioned in this document. We only have a few names, but identifies them in various cases. In this case, for example, we have a much longer email thread with more people in it. You can see here we are getting this long set of emails pulled out. And as this goes, it's going to read the full email. So this is a long email thread. It'll make sure it identifies everybody. If it's got everybody and we want to save this, we can save this to a field. Let's just go ahead and call that PII extracted. And save that. So now in our menu, it's identified as PII extracted. Still going to write to response 1 here. Just go ahead and apply that. And we've successfully applied that. So now we have this response saved here. So now this will also show up. I'll just go ahead and refresh the page so we see this information in our columns. We can go over and see this Noticia Go response is available. So if we wanted to, we could download this, and we have this column which contains all of these values that we can then split and use for whatever we may need to. So that's example number 1. If we want to run this on a list, we could select a set of documents and go ahead and bulk scan these documents as well. And this will run the exact same prompt on each one of those documents and write the values to a field. Some of these are not emails, so there's none in this case, no names and no email addresses. These aren't necessarily the documents we need. So for this, we may need a slightly different prompt to address these documents. I'll go ahead and just clear those values from those fields. And we can come through here, and I'll just grab my more complex PII identification prompt, which looks not just for emails, but for more content. And I'll show you this prompt as well. Both of these will be provided in the description of this video. We have thoroughly scanned this document for instances of PII, consider a broad range of PII types. And now we're looking for not just, but starting with names, dates of birth, social security numbers or social insurance numbers, passport numbers, driver's license, anything that could potentially be personally identifiable. And we want this particular structured output. So this might be to actually generate a report about information that was breached. We want whether or not PII is present or not. We can use this in searches. We can identify the types of PII found, summary and examples of the PII present. And if no PII is detected, I think I missed part of this in my copy, state NA. So we'll just go ahead and save this prompt. Clear my selection here, and let's run this just quickly on these documents that the email prompt didn't really find anything. But if we run this here, we say PII is present. We have full name and university name. We have some names and some universities identified, for example. Here, if we run it on this set of documents, we've got nothing. And that's good to know. We can run a search for all documents with no PII detected, for example. In this example, we have names, email addresses, some examples, same thing. So we're getting really good results. And if we wanted to run this on a longer set of documents, same thing, we can do a bulk scan. This is an example of how you could potentially get a PII structured output, either grouping people's information together and just extracting that PII for purposes of bulk redaction, or just for identifying the types of PII present in the document, so we can use that for whatever purpose we may need. Again, I'll share the prompts in the description of the video, and happy PII extracting.